Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wrap with Vachon and Rapp, and I am Frank Rapp,
I'm Matt Vachon.
and we are going to talk about the week that was professional wrestling and how unprofessional it was, right, Matt?
That's right. Unprofessional wrestling.
Unprofessional wrestling. So, I guess first off, did you see the Savage documentary last Sunday?
I saw it twice.
What are your honest thoughts about it? Because I thought they kind of trashed him a little bit in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they left a lot out of like the positive stuff. Like they didn't spend like much time of any talking about his relationship with like the Special Olympics and things like that. Um yeah, it was kind of it was I don't know. It wasn't in like the best light, I guess, but I don't know. It's still I thought a lot of it was pretty cool, but yeah. But yeah, all the I don't know. I mean, a lot of that stuff is things we had heard before about how he was kind of like a possessive person and things like that. With so like none of that stuff was like really shocking to me. This and the steroid stuff, I think whether that's real or not, it's like a lot of those guys were on it in those days. So, but yeah, no, overall I thought it was pretty good. But yeah,
I don't know, man. Some of that Gorgeous George stuff, I'm just kind of
yeah,
like he had cameras in her house,
yeah,
like that's a little creepy.
yeah,
Um, I hate to talk about a guy that's dead, and they just didn't paint him in the greatest light. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I know they left stuff out of Austin's documentary where where he had, steroid stuff supposedly, and he beat up a bunch of different women supposedly, and Piper was doing some nose candy back in the day, and they left all that stuff out, but they put machos kind of in the forefront a little bit, and that was kind of pissed me off. Like,
Well, and I wonder if how much pull, like Vince had in that too, because I mean they can always say that Vince got over it, got over their issues or whatever, and then rumor to what the issue actually was. Some people say, well, he was just mad the way Macho left, and other people are like, well, he's mad because he knocked up a teenage Stephanie and she had an abortion. you know, so um, uh, I don't know. It's yeah, I'm not sure. So if it's something that Vince had pull on, then I'm sure he would have said, hey, make sure you talk about all the bad shit and not all the good stuff. So
yeah, like Vince wasn't really in this one a lot either,
no,
not like the previous two.
right,
So maybe he didn't want to be a part of. I mean, who, and this is just us speculating as like two friends that don't have a
yeah,
clue.
yeah,
Like maybe he just didn't want to be a part of it, like he was with the first two, and it'll be interesting to see how much he's in tonight's with Booker T too. So,
yeah,
um, but I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but like I don't know, I just it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth a little bit.
yeah,
We both talked on here and off here, like Savage, we liked Savage back when we were little kids and stuff, but we grew more appreciation for him after he died.
yeah, right,
And I think that's what happens with a lot of things, even in life, like
yeah,
and it's just sad. I just felt like they just painted him and not in the best light, and then I don't know,
yeah,
just as a fan of his, it's just I'm like, yeah, you knew about the Liz stuff, you knew he was protective and stuff, and they kind of made it like it was more than that, and it was just kind of like, man, shut up. Like Hulk Hogan, like you don't know if he's telling you the truth or not, like and Bubba the Love Sponge, what the
yeah,
really,
right,
where'd they dig him out of the fucking grave out of, you know what I mean, like
yeah,
like Hogan and him hate each other, and you put him on this, Garrett, they probably didn't know that they were both doing it, but still it's like, what the
yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
I don't know, man. And talking about the Liz death and things like that, and it's just the whole thing's just kind of sad to me.
yeah,
So
yeah. It was cool. I forgot about his rap album,
me
so
too.
it was cool to see. Cool to see that.
We should have a rap album.
I know, but we'll see. We'll work on it.
Who can we rap
Like,
about?
Macho Man. We can do a positive one about Macho Man.
Yeah, about how he gave us ecstasy instead.
Yeah.
and we took it for him. All right. So moving on from that, did you see the show, the Untold Treasures, or whatever the fuck that's called, afterwards with Lawler?
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you think of that episode?
It was pretty cool. I like, I geek out on all memorabilia shit, so I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. It still it always like blows my mind that some of that shit, is out there, like the Andy Kaufman neck brace and all that stuff. Like, it's so cool that shit just even still exists like somewhere. But I watch it and I'm like, it's really cool when they're able to get these things, but at the same time I'm like, well, what are you doing with it? You're paying all this money and you're bringing it back to the warehouse. Like, fuck. I mean, I just hope like the season finale, they're like, oh yeah, so by the way, in 2025 we're gonna open, something like that. But it's like right now it's like, oh yeah, we gotta go get all this shit back so we can reclaim it and put it in our warehouse. It's like,
right, in like a display case, in like a display area, like that no one's gonna see.
no one's
like,
gonna see,
Like you and I would give, anything to go to that warehouse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Throw John and Scott in there with us, and there's a trip to Connecticut in like 5 minutes. Everyone's, hey, let's go! Like, there's no questions asked. We're like, we're in the car and we're going. Like, and we would spend hours there and just be like in awe of all this shit. I can just imagine.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Well, hopefully, if Bobby Valentine becomes the new mayor of Stamford, Connecticut, he'll get in there and he'll open up the WWE museum. So that should be his first order of business.
Wait,
I might write him.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, Bobby Valentine's running for mayor of Stamford, Connecticut.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. So.
Huh.
Well, he's exhausted all other options. He's not going to coach, professionally again. He's not going to, be on TV ever again. So he might as well try politics.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is he going to dress in disguise when they throw him out somewhere and come back?
That's what I'm hoping, yeah. If he ever gets kicked out of a meeting, just throws on a fake mustache and comes back.
Man, do you remember that was so funny when he did that?
Yeah, that was like awesome. Yeah.
Wow, Bobby Valentine, Mayor. Wow.
So we'll see.
That could be something interesting for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on. We'll talk about Raw. We won't spend a lot of time on Raw because we just won't. Let's see. So they broke up Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander on Raw. Does anybody care?
No.
Okay. The Hulk Hogan of Saudi Arabia debuted on Monday Night Raw this week. Mansoor appeared on Raw, challenging Sheamus for the United States Championship.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we have a bombshell of news though. Eva Marie is back on Raw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bombshell is right.
Yeah, she hasn't been. She's been gone for 4 years, and now she's back.
Finally.
Oh man, I cannot wait for Evolution, as she calls herself.
I mean, that was why I slept so good last night, knowing that she was back.
I'm sure that's 100% why.
Yeah.
And they added Charlotte into the Raw Women's Title match next Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash.
Cool.
So now it's Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley versus Asuka.
And Charlotte will probably win.
Probably. Unfortunately, she probably will, yes. And again, no one cares because nobody watches.
Yeah.
Raw is just so unwatchable. It's not even funny.
Have you been seeing what their ratings have been doing?
I can look it up real quick, but I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, I haven't checked in the last couple months, maybe.
SmackDown pulled over 2 million this week, which is a shocker.
Yeah.
Raw ratings. Okay, let's see. That can't be right. Raw rebounded last, so they got 1.87 million viewers
Yeah.
and a .53 rating from 18 to 49. So,
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah.
They're still doing RK Bro, and apparently they're going to get a push.
Push off the fucking cliff.
Well, I mean, push Riddle off the cliff. Keep Orton where he is, but push
right,
Riddle
right.
off. Apparently,
Yeah.
Orton didn't like Riddle when he first met him either. That came out this morning,
Yeah.
which
Which I
really does,
didn't.
which really doesn't surprise me. I don't think anyone liked him.
No. Yeah.
I
wonder if Randy did like the secret handshake with him.
maybe.
The old Hancock.
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. Surprised he didn't shit in his bag.
Yeah. The Viper, Randy Orton.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was so Pritchard this week was Backlash 2006, and this was when they suspended him for 60 days.
Yeah.
And he did some bad things, which most likely means he probably got popped with drugs.
Yeah.
At that time, but so in 2006 to now, he's still like the top 5 workers in the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Even then he was in his I think he was like 27 or 28 then. And he's still there.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how he's still there, but he's still there. So yeah. So that's Raw.
Yeah.
Who books this shit? Bruce?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for real. NXT, that we have new women's tag team champions. I think it's the Indy Hartwell. No, hold on, I gotta pull it up because I just had it and I lost it. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell won the NXT Women Tag Team Championships on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see.
What's going on with Cole? Anything new?
No. No. I mean, he did an interview, but that's pretty much it. He hasn't wrestled since the O'Reilly match at Takeover. Yeah. Night 2. So I don't know. I mean, if let's say they call him up, he's just gonna get lost in the shuffle. So
right.
I guess just stay down in NXT and keep doing your thing. Even if let's say he becomes a free agent at some point and he goes to AEW, they won't know what to do with him. So
yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about a free agent in a little while, but
yeah, I was gonna say that's coming.
I just don't know. Yeah. All right. So we had Blood and Guts on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But they're taking shape for the Double or Nothing card. So they announced Britt Baker is going to fight Hiroshita for the AEW Women's title at the pay-per-view on May 30th, which is a Sunday night. Memorial Day weekend on a Sunday night. Yeah, good luck getting a fucking pop for that show.
Yeah, right.
If it was Saturday, it might be a different story, but I think there's a UFC that Saturday, so I think that's why it's on Sunday. But I could be wrong. So, and then on the men's side, we're gonna have possibly Pac or Pockets versus Omega.
Yeah.
Pockets, Matt. Yeah. Pockets.
Yeah, like we had talked about earlier in the week. I don't understand how these rankings keep coming into play. Like how these people continue to become the number 1, number 2, contender. But it just doesn't seem like anything's going on with them.
Well, we haven't seen Pac on Dynamite in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We don't watch Dark. We don't watch Elevation. So
No.
apparently they must be wrestling on those shows because I don't
Yeah.
watch them. But we talked last week. Adam Page was number one, and then Cage crushed him.
Yeah.
So then you announce Pockets versus Pac this week, and the winner will face Omega.
Yeah.
Where's Brian? Does Brian Cage not get any love or anything? Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Apparently he doesn't because like I don't know. He's fucking great. Like, or he's been pretty good since coming with the company, and yeah, he needs more love, but I don't know. It's weird.
if they
Yeah.
do Pockets versus Omega, John's gonna have a heart attack along with Cornette.
God damn. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like
you and
it's
I
just
probably will too. Let's be real.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised like Michael Nakazawa isn't like the number one contender.
Well, he had on the AAA title and the Impact
Got
Heavyweight
several.
title, and pissed off a lot of people online. So,
Yeah.
but dude, I don't know. Like, yeah, people pop for Pockets, but this is also people that don't understand anything to do with wrestling. So,
Yeah.
I mean, these are the people that like cheer the Bucks and shit like that. And
Yeah. Right.
no, like no. I don't know. Like this is the first pay-per-view where I've openly admitted to you and I think even John that I'm not looking forward to the show whatsoever.
Yeah.
I most likely will probably buy it because I'm a mark, let's be real, but I'm not excited. It's just I don't know. I think they've hit a wall and I don't know where they're gonna go from here.
Well, we talked about too. It's like with a pay per view only, a few weeks away. It's like usually you have like a couple of like the big matches are already fleshed out a bit, and it's like now it's like kind of we don't know what's. Yeah, it's still like what the hell's going to be on this thing. We know like one or two matches, and they're not like anything exciting. So
No, I mean, we both like Britt Baker, but I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna announce that's gonna be one of your first announcements. It's no disrespect to either one of them because they're both, I think they're both pretty good women's workers, but eesh,
yeah,
like, I don't think a lot of people are gonna buy that show for those two.
right.
And I hate to be a burden of bad news to people, but it's the truth. So
Yeah, yeah,
if they were more over, then that'd be a different story. But I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. If Pockets wins Wednesday night, my remote's gonna go through my television. I guarantee it. And I'm gonna text blast everybody and go, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" Like, because okay, so they're gonna do. Let's say Pac wins. It's like their third match in like 2 years or whatever.
right.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like, but on good news, they went full capacity though at the end of the month.
yeah,
So that's going to be interesting to see how they're going to, 5,500 people in that place.
yeah,
So I guess that's good.
yep.
So the first hour of Dynamite was taped. I didn't know that till I told you about it, till I read about it. Apparently I read too that when Cody got busted open, it was accidental.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
Huh.
Yeah, and I was like, Cody accidentally getting busted open? That's
Yeah.
no, that's he loves to have color, like you and I've said.
Yeah.
Seems
Every
like
week, unnecessarily.
yeah, it seems like we've talked about this too. Every time Cody's in a match, he bleeds. It seems like. I don't know. Well, Dusty bled a lot too for no reason, so I guess I can kind of see the.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because he's been bleeding too much, and now some of those cuts haven't healed up, and so.
Well, I mean, he got hit here, so like, there's not a lot of
Yeah.
skin here, so maybe it was accidental, but I don't know. But apparently, those matches were taped a couple weeks beforehand, but they made it look real with both rings there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you had Moxley and Kingston versus Nakazawa and Omega to kick off the show. There's not much you can say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, typical run-in with the Good Brothers, typical with the Bucks. Like, it's, to me, they're setting up the Bucks versus Omega and Kingston at the pay-per-view. Most likely, that's what I think.
Yeah.
John told me this. John said something about that like a couple weeks ago, and now that you're slowly building towards it, I can see it now, and I can see Moxley and Kingston winning the titles too.
Yeah.
Because let's just give a non-tag team the actual belt like we've done before.
Yeah. But let's put FTR in a faction and take them out of competition.
Yeah. You had SCU winning that tag scramble match, so they're going to fight the Young Fucks next week, and if they lose, they're disbanded, which most likely they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll actually explain why Scorpio Sky's a heel now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's still like I was really confused by it. Like I said, I don't watch any of the other shows, so I don't know if I missed something. But yeah, just kind of out of nowhere, Scorpio is now a heel, and the most like unheely of all like the SCU guys. But so we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, and Ethan Page is a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
So that, I don't think that pairing works. But hey, whatever. I'm not the booker, so
Yeah, right.
Because if I was, I wouldn't book half the shit the way it's fucking been booked. So
yeah.
And then let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, Britt Baker squashed somebody, and Cody beat QT, right? Or did QT beat Cody?
I think Cody won, but then
the small, that guy came out and hit him in the yeah. So you have a wicked punch and you punch him to the body, not to the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he disrespectfully put the British flag on him.
Oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he? Yeah, I wasn't. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, or I was taking a shit. I don't remember, but I really I don't remember that part. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we get to the match of the year.
Yeah.
Blood and Guts.
It started off really good.
Started off with a bang.
Yeah.
Guevara and was it Dash or Dax, whatever, one of them.
Yeah.
And then both FTR were bleeding gushers.
Yeah.
MJF was bleeding a gusher. Guevara's blood stopped halfway through, it seemed like.
Yeah, he ran out of it.
Yeah, and then did Santana Ortiz blade too? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I know Hager and Wardlow didn't because they probably don't know how to.
Yeah.
But we'll get to how to in a second. What really sucked about that match was all the commercial breaks through it.
Yeah.
Like, I hate this picture-in-picture shit. Like, even when they do it for like non-big, unless okay. I know you got to get your shit in, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because I was vaguely paying attention at one point because I was playing cards, and I look up and MJF's on the top of the cage, and I was like, "What the fuck? When did this happen?"
Yeah.
And then Telly threw the ref into the door, and that was during the commercial, and I was like, "Huh?" And then I looked down, and the next thing I know, MJF's on the cage. I'm like, "Okay." Then out comes Jericho very slowly. Like very slowly. Like I was like, holy fuck, are you Jerry Lawler climbing that ladder when he fought the Miz all those years ago? Like Lawler's like doing this, like, oh yeah, I'll get there. Come on, Miz, get up, let's go. I can't stall for much longer.
Well, yeah, well that's always my like observation. I'm like, you have these world-class athletes in great shape and they can't even climb a fucking ladder. Like, how are you winded by the third rung? Like, what? Like, come the fuck out. But yeah. Like,
so then Jericho climbs up. Yeah, Jericho climbs up and they square off, and then MJF hits him with actually first he puts him in that hold, and then you can see Jericho's got the blade like here.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit with the ring, and then Jericho.
Yeah.
And then, the finish was just as lame as that exploding barbed wire match.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're gonna submit or surrender in a cage, which we both were like, Usually, isn't it pinfall? Usually those
With
war
10
games.
people, like, how are you gonna? Yeah. Right. Yeah, so that was the thing, and they were on top of the cage, and I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then Sammy, came out and threw in the towel, and I was like, it's like, man, that sucks.
And then Jericho gets thrown off into cushions, and everyone online's having a fit.
Yeah, but he didn't get thrown off onto an actual stage.
Okay, well, folks, this is 1998. This isn't Mick Foley getting thrown off the top of a cell. This is a
Right.
50-year-old man who is taking a pretty dangerous bump. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because if they don't calculate that right, that could have been disastrous for
Right.
everybody involved.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, no. But if they didn't fuck with the finish, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
No one would have talked about that, because if they would have done a better fucking finish than what it was, nobody would be talking about the blade in Jericho's hand or the fact that he took a bump in the fucking cushions. Nobody would give a fuck.
Yeah.
But because they fucked us again with another fucking finish that was awful, that's why people are talking about it, and that's why we're talking about it.
I thought for sure it was going to go the other way. Like, Sammy came out, called it, and then I thought Jericho was going to chuck MJF, but not so much. But, wasn't all bad, because then MJF finally thanked Jericho for everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because he had the cool image at the end where he's bleeding and thank you, and
yeah.
But okay, so then we'll talk about this real quick. Where do we go from here?
I don't know. Like you said, Fozzy might have some dates coming up, so I think this is, it could be, another one of those like convenient exits, temporary exits for him.
So then, if he exits, so what's the rest of the crew? What's the rest of the crew do then?
I don't know.
Do they sell this shit? Like, do they sell it, not be on TV for a couple weeks? Like, do we see the Pinnacle show up on Wednesday and cut a promo and they're the greatest thing ever, and then Jungle Express comes out and they have a big brawl with fucking dinosaurs and a midget? Because that's fucking believable. I mean, because you can't have Moxley and Mr. Kingston come out because they're not feuding with them. So they're feuding with 6 other fucking fuck offs. So actually, it's 7 fuck offs now if you count Nakazawa. So I mean, this is what got WCW in trouble back in the day, where they did this fucking shitty booking, and this is what's going to get these guys in trouble.
Yeah.
With the shitty booking, there's no fucking story. There's no nothing.
Well, it's such an important thing. I mean, you can have the best wrestlers in the world, but if the storylines all suck, it's like, well, I mean, people tune in because of the storylines, for the most part. That's what keeps people interested in coming back the next week. It's like, you can see anybody do fucking some of these moves, but like, they're all athletic. It's all fun to watch, but you need the stories to keep people coming back. And that is just another week, just another show.
Well, why do you think daytime soap operas work out so well?
Yeah.
I mean, my wife's hooked on Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful, and she watches that religiously. And it's not because it's a good show. It's because they fucking rope you in with these goddamn stories about, this baby got stolen by this person, and then this guy's banging this chick, or this chick's banging this guy, and she's married to this guy. Like, it's all what it is. Yeah. There's no good storyline in AEW right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no good story whatsoever. Yeah. Like, the whole Moxley Eddie thing, whatever. Like, that's kind of over that. Kenny being Kenny, over that. The Bucks are awful. Callis can go away. Like, the Dork Order, as Cornette says, they're fucking trash. Like, no disrespect to anybody, but when Brody died, that whole group should have been disbanded. And I'm gonna say that now. and I probably shouldn't say that, but it's the fucking truth. Like, you know, when the face of your group is John Silver, who we both love, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And he's not on TV right now because he separated his fucking shoulder against Darby. So like, you know, and Hangman's back and forth with being a drunk cowboy and whatever else, and that's fucking that course is fucking shit. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Fucking do something else with that guy because you've totally ruined that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like that guy had so much promise, and now he's just a drunk cowboy, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Steve Austin did that in 98, 99, and he wasn't even technically drunk. He just drank beers, not like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's been done before. The Sandman did it with a fucking cigarette. Like, I don't need to see this. And you know what I mean? Do something else.
There's a difference too between being like a party drunk and being like a sad drunk. Like they make Hangman into like a sad drunk, you know, with like Austin and everything. It's you know, it's smashing beer, you know, it's like fun drinking.
Yeah, same with the Sandman, because he would come out to Metallica's, you know, Enter Sandman with a cigarette and beer in his hand. Like, how fucking cool is that shit?
Yeah, right.
Hangman comes out to a fucking cowboy, you know, fucking horses. He's like the sad urban cowboy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's basically that was why they chose that angle. I don't know, but it's he's the depressing drunk,
right? He is, and then have the Elite like disbanded? You know, they haven't mentioned that at all with like Cody and Hangman. They haven't mentioned that one bit.
No, it's like they've kind of like splintered, but I don't know. I stopped watching like the Elite videos on YouTube. Like,
oh yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched that in probably over a year and a half.
Yeah, I think really since like they announced that, you know, they were starting AEW or whatever. Then I was like, oh, okay, well, I can just watch them on TV every week. I don't need to watch.
Yeah, I mean the older stuff like with Adam Cole is fucking gold.
Yeah,
like the older shit's great, but like this new shit, like they have a BTE champion. What the fuck?
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens this coming Wednesday. So, you know, because we have a New Japan title being defended on Dynamite.
Yeah. For the first time ever.
Yeah, probably the last time ever too. So because half of New Japan's roster right now is fucking COVID. So all their shows have been canceled up and through. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, their show then the 13th or 14th canceled. Their big Tokyo Dome show on the 29th is canceled. Yeah. Wow. There's COVID going rampant through them right now. So they're pretty much fucked for a little while.
Yeah. Huh.
Because I think 2 wrestlers had it and then came to the show. They sent them home. And then more people are now testing positive. So it's not good right now for New Japan.
Yeah.
So
no shit.
But hey, let's just keep fucking bringing kids back to school full time and bringing her, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, and I was talking to someone this week too, where, yeah, you know, I could see, you know, us coming back in the fall but we're still gonna have to wear masks. Why the fuck did I get vaccinated then if I have to wear a fucking mask?
Yeah.
To quote my famous father, I'm vaccinated. Fuck masks.
Yeah. Well, no, he's right. I mean, you know, it's at the point where, okay, so now everyone has the opportunity to get it.
Yeah.
You know, and so it gets to a point where it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to get it, then that's on you. That's, you know, that's not on me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to have my 8-year-old get it. Like, let's be real.
Right.
Like, she ain't going to get it. My wife's probably not going to get it. And I fully support her reasons. And I get that. And you know what? There's not enough research for what these shots are and what's going in our bodies. I get that. But you know what? I'm going to fucking do it because I work at a school. I've been in 2 goddamn quarantines. And I really don't have to get quarantined again. So, like, if I can prevent that, perfect. I love being home. Let's be real. I like being in my house. Like, this room is covered in toys. I love, you know, I get that, but like, I don't want to have to put anybody else at risk either. Right. So,
right.
You know, but I get both sides. I get my side. I get her side. Then I'm, you know, me, and I get anyone else's side too that doesn't want to get. I totally understand that. Like, because there's not enough research to go into what's going in us. So they could be fucking giving me fucking you know, nose candy in a fucking shot and I wouldn't have a fucking clue. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh well,
Uh,
we'll
yeah,
see.
exactly. Yeah. So, but that's what I mean. Like, teach his own. At this point, it's like, if you want to get it, you can get it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's
I'll read you something that made me very sad today. I went to the Herman Dunkin' Donuts this morning to get a coffee before our show, and you can't go into the lobby because there's a sign on the door that says lobby closed due to employee shortage. Drive through is open.
yeah.
How sad is that? Like, these fucking people don't want to work because they're getting more money to stay at home. And you
Yeah.
have places like that that are giving you like $15 an hour to work there, and they can't
Yeah.
find people to work there because you're making more money to sit on your fucking ass. Like, when's this shit gonna come to a
Yeah.
fucking screeching halt?
Yeah. Well, effective last week, now people actually have to prove they're looking for employment. They actually, which they haven't had to do in a long time. So, but I was hanging out with my girlfriend yesterday, and uh, we were driving out there, and literally it was like every business we drove by had a sign out front that said, now hiring or help wanted, or I mean, it was just like literally like everywhere, everything is hiring. So it's like there's plenty of work out there. It's just getting these people off their fucking ass and to go do it. So
Right? And that's the problem. They don't want to
yeah,
because
so
they'll
that's why
find.
you got to kind of make it. You got to start making it a lot tougher for these people to just sit around and do nothing.
Right. I mean, you and I've worked through everything. Like,
Yep.
you know,
For the most part, I had some time off, but
yeah, but okay, you had some time, but you're still working now. Like, you know what I
well,
mean? Like,
right, yeah,
I ran a whole IT department from my kitchen table. Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? And so like, and I'd go in the middle of the night and fix stuff, and shit's ready for the next morning. So it's like, you know, it's just, it just boggles my mind. But anyway,
yeah,
we'll move on from that. We'll talk about that maybe a little later, some more. But Thursday night was Dark Side of the Ring. Brian Pillman.
yeah.
Have you seen both episodes yet?
No, I've just seen the first one so far.
Okay, well, you need to watch episode 2 because uh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Episode 1 was an eye opener, huh?
yeah, yeah. Pretty crazy. So
Sounds like Melanie was a complete.
yeah,
How can I say this nicely? Bitch.
yeah. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, there we go. You said it, not me. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was kind of cool, like, cause it was nice to see like how smart Brian actually was. Because I just thought he was just crazy. Because that was the person. That was how he sold himself as. Did a fucking awesome job at it, but yeah, it was cool to see like how, like, really how smart he was, and how much of that was an act. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to part two. That must be, it's up on YouTube, I take it.
I saw it. I watched their show on their app, so it's up on their
Yeah.
app if you have it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, yeah, part 2 was good. I mean, it's sad. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
thing's sad. Like, both
Yeah.
parts are sad. Gone way too soon.
Yeah.
Could he have been in that top tier of guys? Probably,
Yeah.
but you just don't know. But I'll do a little spoiler for a second. So, like, when he shattered his ankle, they fused his ankle so it stayed in one position forever.
Yeah.
So he had no movement in that ankle this way.
Yeah.
It was all this.
Yeah.
That accident led to the downfall of his life
Yeah.
because he broke every bone in his face too. Like, he shattered everything in his face.
Yeah.
Like, they said, his sister said when we saw him, his face was so swollen, and he couldn't even recognize it was him.
Yeah. 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 They did the old peeled the skin back and
They literally peeled the skin back and put plates in his face.
yeah.
And then he had actual friggin' screws coming out of his leg.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fucking bad.
But, he he worked everybody. Like, you could
Yeah.
you can't do that now though. You cannot do that now.
No. Oh no. The shit he was doing, you can't do that. No.
Him threatened to whip his dick out on ECW TV and pee in the ring. Like all the crazy shit he was doing, like
Yeah.
he couldn't get away with it now too because of social media, because someone would have posted on Twitter.
Yeah. But that was so cool. Like that he was that car accident fucked him, because it was just like, he was working it so well where he was going to be able to go back to WCW and get a good payday, but yeah, then they got in the fucking accident that derailed everything.
Yeah, he signed a 3-year deal with Vince, and every 3 months his deal could be renegotiated.
Yeah. That's insane.
Can you imagine?
But yeah, it's been fun to watch. It's cool, I like his son, Brian Pillman Jr. I like him quite a bit.
Mhm.
So it's like
He had a rough life.
Yeah, it seems like it's made me appreciate him a little bit more too. Yeah. So
Yeah, episode 2 you'll appreciate him a lot more because he had a rough life.
Yeah.
He had a stepfather that was a dick.
Yeah.
Real dick. So a lot of things happen to that kid, and you feel bad for him. So
Yeah.
because like his oldest daughter Brittany, she doesn't have a mom or a dad. They're both gone. So
Yeah, both good. Yeah.
the whole it's just a sad story. The whole thing's sad because he had so much potential and so much promise, and
Yeah.
that character was over, and he was fucking with everybody, and
So good. Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll move on from that to something sad to something great. Daniel Bryan's a free agent, and where the fuck is he gonna go?
Yeah. Ring of Honor.
Probably.
I don't know. I have no idea. Because I don't know where his health is at. I don't know where.
I mean, who knows at this point? But he's the hottest free agent right now.
Oh yeah.
By
Yeah.
far. I mean,
Yeah.
even if he showed up on Dynamite, they wouldn't know what to do with him. So don't go there.
Right. Yeah. If he doesn't go back to WWE, I'd be surprised if he wrestled anywhere, I guess.
Well, he wants to wrestle, like he wants to be with the E and be able to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
He wants to go fight Omega, who he calls a dream match, which I threw up in my mouth when I read that. So, or John told me one of the two. So, I mean, yeah, he called Omega one of his dream matches, and I was just kind of like, oh, fuck me, really? Like, I don't care.
And I thought I had shitty dreams.
Me too. Apparently, his is a lot shittier than ours. So, I mean, I'd love to see him go over to New Japan and fight Okada and people like that, but you can't get over there. So,
right.
I don't know. Like,
we'll see. Maybe he doesn't do anything immediately anyway. Maybe he goes home for a bit and takes a vacation and then does something.
If they're smart, they bring him to NXT and he fights O'Reilly, Cole, Cross. He fights Balor. He fights people like that, like Cameron Grimes. He fights him. Who's having a feud with Ted DiBiase right now?
Yeah, with Ted DiBiase.
So it's just.
Yeah, I keep seeing that shit like pop up, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, it's highly entertaining. I'll say that right.
Yeah.
I think they brought Ted in to be a trainer or something, or a coach, I think. So which is cool for Ted. Ted's that character is so over even 2021. So like it's just funny to see them interact, but yeah, I could bring Brian to NXT. I mean, why the fuck not at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, because he can go down there and have killer matches and teach people, because I think he wants to eventually teach people. So they'd be dumb not to do that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that'd actually probably be the best fit for him.
It would be, or he goes to the Nightmare Factory and he trains those people instead of QT and Cody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was kind of mean, but oh well, that's okay. So Cesaro is gonna fight Roman Reigns at the pay-per-view next Sunday.
Cool. Think
Yeah.
he's gonna be able to swing Roman Reigns?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
He won't win the title, but it'll be
No. Yeah, they'll at least he'll swing Roman Reigns for a bit.
yeah. And then you have Dolph and Rude versus the Mysterio brothers or father son or whatever the fuck they're called for the tag titles.
Yeah.
It was a throwback show this week on SmackDown. So Teddy Long was there,
Yeah.
and Pat McAfee dressed as Vince McMahon.
Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Which Vince? Which version? Or do you just dude
he was in
whatever?
that gray suit, Vince, the gray suit Vince. So like, yeah, like the smart Vince, like, yeah. Not, yeah. So not in that raw fucking jacket. Remember that raw jacket you used to wear? Oh my God, it was so hideous.
It was a different time then. It was the 90s. Everything was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Everything was crazy. So so we'll move on from wrestling because that's pretty much it. So Aaron Rodgers is still in the news. Apparently he still wants out.
Yeah.
Apparently nothing's gonna happen. One of the beat writers was on Dan Patrick and said basically he gives like a 5% chance of Rodgers staying in Green Bay. And apparently his fiance has a big role in what's going to happen with this. Sharon Woodley or whatever her name is from the Divergent, right? Divergent lady or whatever she is. Yeah.
Yeah. I know she's an actress. That's all I know.
Yeah. So apparently she has a big role in all this. So betting favorites right now that he goes to Denver or Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Denver, apparently someone wrote that Denver would give up Surtain and Drew Lock and somebody else and a couple picks for Rodgers.
Fuck. I mean, I get it. Like he's still a good player and you got to give up a bunch, but man, Jesus Christ. At the same time, I don't know how much leverage they're going to have because if he's like, fuck you, I'm not coming back. Like, so,
Yeah, they're going to they'll find him and then he'll have to pay them money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so, nothing's going to happen until after June 1st because if they trade him now, they're dead. They're dead. Like they got to wait till June 1st after June 1st. So, we have another month to hear and listen to all this speculation and bullshit about what's going to happen. So,
yeah, my favorite thing this week that's come out about it was that in like the group text with like some of the other players, he refers to the GM as Jerry Krause.
Yeah. So, that made me chuckle. So
but yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it's one of those things where I'm not invested at all in like the Green Bay Packers, so it's like whatever happens, it's like I'm just gonna be like, oh cool, or whatever. It's not gonna
Hey, what are you pockets now with whatever? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm like whatever.
if whatever wins the title and gets number one, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, pockets. Go away.
I was seeing if I had some Ray-Bans handy, but
no,
nothing within reach. No.
Well, Kenny Omega stole his Ray-Bans, so
yeah. Well, so there's a fake Ray-Ban ad now with Michael Nakazawa wearing the Ray-Bans and having all the belts.
Oh, such trash, fucking trash. But yet I still watch it like a car accident. I don't get it.
Exactly.
Let's see. Do you have your list ready?
I do.
All right. I'll get my list out. We did a top 5 of our favorite sports teams ever. We didn't really tell anybody we were doing this last week because we more or less forgot and we decided afterwards.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about it now for like the last probably 15 minutes of this podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You can go.
All right. And so, like you said, this is our favorite teams. This isn't, me saying, well, this team could beat any team. These are just teams that made like a big impact on me one way or another. Um, and not all these teams won anything. So, but yes, these are my favorite. You know, as much as this one also like pains me the most, my number 5 is the '07 Patriots, just because they were so fucking good. And it just sucks that they lost to the fucking Giants. You know, not once but twice. This is the first time they lost. And I was just, man, if they would have won that, it would have been so great, because it would have been able to shut up all those dumb fucking Dolphin people like Mercury Morris. And it just, God, they could have done it, but hey. So that was like the only Super Bowl like loss where I was like, I can't talk about, like, it was like 6 months before I could even talk about that game. I was just like, no, can't do it.
Well, how do you think Brady feels? He would trade in anything for get those wins back. That's what he said this week. So
yeah.
You know, and think about it too. He had 50 touchdown passes that year, and Randy Moss caught 23 of them.
Yeah. They were just so goddamn good. But yeah, just didn't happen.
David Tyree and that dumbass catch.
Rodney Harrison, one of the hardest hitters ever, and he lets that motherfucker catch a football to his helmet. God damn it.
Well, he should have been sacked at least twice. So.
Oh yeah.
Because when they got him and spun him, and I'm like, oh, he's done. And he stayed on his feet, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't good.
Well, that's Eli, you know, smooth.
Yeah, he's definitely not smooth.
My number 4 team is the 93 Michigan Wolverines basketball team.
Timeout, Chris Webber.
Yeah, the timeout year. So again, another one of my favorite teams that didn't win anything, but I loved the Fab Five so much. Like, you know, was a huge fan. Yeah, I could have done, you know, the 92 team, you know, because that was the first year they were all together. But 93, it was like, you know, they got so close in 92. And then so in 93, I was like, oh, fuck, another year they're going to do this. And then, you know, they get that stupid fucking timeout by Weber. And North Carolina wins, and that's that. But it just sucked. But I loved that team so much. And Jalen Rose was my favorite. And I mean, it's still that group. He's probably still my favorite. You know, even recently when, you know, he had that commercial with Kobe about, you know, because, you know, he was the one guarding Kobe that night. He put up like, you know, 300 points. So,
81. It's only 81.
So I thought that was fun. But yeah, so that's what I got. Number 3, I've got the 04 Red Sox. You know, because lifelong Red Sox fan, and that was like that. I mean, there was so much drama, but for me, it was like that team. Like it was almost like the World Series didn't even matter because that Yankee series was so good.
Yeah.
As a Red Sox fan, it was so good. As a Yankees fan, not so much. But the best, I worked at Home Depot at the time, and my manager was a huge Yankees fan, and so he just came in and talked shit like every day. Yeah, well, tonight they're closing them out tonight. Well, yeah, they fucking got one. Okay, we're gonna close them out tonight. It was all this shit. And I remember we had like a team meeting, I think, like early the morning, the day after the Red Sox won, and he had to get up in front of everybody, and everyone was fucking tired because all those games went till like, you know, midnight or 1 a.m. And so everybody's in there like half asleep. He's like, yeah, well, he goes, I'll be honest, I didn't think Red Sox Nation would be here, so I'm sure a lot of you were tired. But so that was, it was fun to watch. And like I said, by the time they got to the World Series, it was kind of anticlimactic to me because the World Series was pretty uneventful except for them winning. So
yeah, because they swept.
Yeah,
they swept. So, they swept St. Louis 4-0.
Yeah. My number 2 team is the 2011-2012 Manchester City soccer team. They're my favorite soccer team, and again, another situation where they were a garbage team forever until probably like 07, 08 when the new ownership came in and they actually started pumping money into them and they could afford good players. And so they won, and they won in dramatic fashion as in the Premier League, there's no playoffs. So you have to win out.
Right.
And so them going into that game, they had to win in order to beat Manchester United. If they tied or lost, they lost. So and so they were losing, and they scored 2 goals. They got the game winner at the 93-20 in the second half. So they scored 2 goals to win, to take the lead, to tie, and then take the lead, and won. And meanwhile, Manchester United was already celebrating like on their home field because they had the score up, and they were like, well, they're not coming back. So there was so much fucking drama, and it was so awesome. That team was, I just love that team so much. And and number one, which I've talked about many times before, the 92-93 University of Maine Black Bears, 42-1-2, greatest college hockey team that ever lived. Still, just my favorite team. Like, I still think about, going to see them at the, watching the games, but also, going to the airport when they flew back from winning the championship, and then going up to Orono and it being like packed and couldn't even get in the Alphon, end up having to go home. But just such a cool time, great team, great players. Just, one of my favorite like moments from my childhood. So, and then my parents decided they didn't love each other anymore and got divorced. Nothing that Paul Correa did, but I blame my brothers for that one. But it's
Oh my God.
But no, so yeah, it's a good time in my life. And so that they're my number one team, and they, I talk about that all the time. So
All right, so that's a great list of teams, actually. So my number 5 for mine is the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, where they went 16-3, and they won Super Bowl 52 over New England 41-33. This was the season that they started off, I think they were like 12-0 or something, 11-0. They started off hot, so good. Carson Wentz was having an MVP type year, blew his knee out against the Rams, and still continued to play like a play or two.
Yeah,
scored a touchdown actually, and then it was revered that he tore his ACL and he was done. So then we insert Big Dick Nick, who comes in and has the playoff run of his life.
Yeah,
they go up against the huge underdog is against New England, and Brady and Foles throws like 5 touchdown passes or something, or 4, and Brady's got 5, and Brady's got 500 yards passing. Foles had like 400 something yards passing, and they hang on to win because Brandon Graham does a strip sack of Brady at the end, and that was
Michigan guy on Michigan guy.
Yeah. So the underdog Eagles win, and that was technically in 2018 early, but still.
It's the 17 season.
So now looking forward to this year, Doug Peterson's gone, Carson Wentz is traded.
Yeah.
The times have turned in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Nobody's on that team. Well, I mean, some of the people are still there, but
yeah. Brandon Graham's there. A couple other guys. That's it. A couple other guys. That's pretty much it. But so real quick though, so I read an article this week. Remember when the Eagles traded up to 10? The Giants were fucking furious because they wanted Smith, and so did the Eagles, and they jumped the Giants to get Smith, and the Giants were pissed. So not only are they pissed about what happened at the end of the regular season where they tanked, and it cost the Giants a playoff berth. Now they're even more mad because they jumped them and got Smith.
Yeah.
Makes my heart so warm to hear that
Yeah.
stuff. Fuck you, Giants.
Yeah.
Oh well. My number 4 is the 09-10 Lakers team. It's the last time Kobe won the title.
Yeah.
They went 57-25 in the regular season. They went 16-7 in the playoffs, and they had that epic 7-game battle with the Celtics. And they beat the Celtics in Game 7 of the finals. It was the Celtics' first ever loss in a Game 7 in the finals.
Yeah,
that was a
great series.
That was a great series. Back and forth. 2 years before they got fucking smoked in Game 7, so it was kind of a little bit of retribution because they should have played in 09.
Yeah.
When they beat the Magics, as my wife says, but no, it's Magic. But the Celtics were hurt and Garnett got hurt, and that was pretty much it. And they lost to the Bulls, I think, or Bulls.
Yeah.
And then the Bulls lost to Orlando, and the Lakers crushed Orlando that year. But the 09-10 Lakers, is my number 4. Pretty sad to say that Kobe's no longer with us. So
it still doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't seem real.
So
my number 3 is the 1998 New York Yankees.
Yeah.
They went 114-48.
Yeah.
Their overall record was 125-50 that year.
Jesus Christ.
They were one of the greatest baseball teams ever assembled, probably ever. You got the 27 Yankees, you got the 39 Yankees, and realistically, the 04 Red Sox, that was so that 98 team's up there with all those guys. Like,
Yeah.
Some of those,
they were so good. And it's one of those things, like, people are always like, the 27 Yankees and all that stuff. It's like, it wasn't really you didn't have all the best players playing in those days.
No.
When you exclude races of people, you're missing out on some of the best players. So so it's like, as good as those teams were, it's like, I give more credit to some of these other teams, larger pool of people to pick from. And so that 98 team was fucking scary good.
They were loaded. They won in 98, they won in 99, they won in 2000. They should have won in 2001, but they lost to Arizona because Arizona just fucking pitched Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling every fucking game.
Yeah. And I was actually in New York City when that happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was watching the game at my buddy's apartment, which was in the Chelsea district of Manhattan.
Yeah.
They were all at the bar watching it, and I was only 20, so I was sitting at his apartment watching those games. But I was like, oh man, because especially so close to 9/11, I was like, New York needs this. I was pulling for New York for like the first time in my life, just because I was like, New York needs this.
Yeah.
And so when Arizona won, I was like, well, what the fuck? That's not how it's supposed to go.
Right. Yeah, because Arizona was up 2-0 going into New York.
Yeah.
And New York won 3 games in a row in epic fashion.
Yeah.
And that series made Derek Jeter who Derek Jeter was.
For sure, yeah.
They dubbed him Mr. November for a reason. Him hitting that walk-off home run after 12 o'clock on November 1st, like, you can't write a better script than that.
Yeah.
But they just, they ran into a buzzsaw with Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling. Let's be real. Yeah. Like, when they pitched well, it was over. When they didn't pitch well, they had a chance. And that Beyond Young Kim blew a couple saves and a couple of those games 3, 4, and 5. I don't know if it was in that order, but something like that. And Scott Brocious hit a walk off, like Jeter hit a walk, like, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't write a better script. And then they go to Arizona and they lose 2 games in a row because Luis Gonzalez gets a hit off Rivera at the end, and that was it. But they had Game 7 too. He had that, but hey, but they could have won 4 in a row. They won 3. But that 98 team, like you said, was fucking scary.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, they won in '96. They didn't get there in '97, and they won 3 in a row. So they won 4. They won 4 out of 5 years.
Yeah,
and that's unheard of these days in baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but you think about it too. Like baseball's has some good teams too. Like those A's teams in the '80s.
Oh yeah.
The Pirates teams in the '70s. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like there was an Orioles team that was pretty good in the '80s too. Like Phillies had a couple of teams that were decent. Like the Blue Jays in the early '90s. Like it's just people forget the Yankees were a fucking doormat forever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's in the '80s. The Yankees were trash. Yeah.
Nobody wanted to go to the Bronx because it was a scary place to go.
Yeah.
Because around Yankee Stadium at the time, that was a rough atmosphere for people, and no one wanted to go to those games. A, because of the atmosphere, and B, because they were terrible.
Right.
Like, Don Mattingly played on some fucking awful baseball teams.
Yeah. And nobody was gonna, kill themselves to go see Steve Sachs.
Yeah, who's doing some nose candy. So,
so it's so it's one of those things because they were so good in the '90s and 2000s and present day, really, it's still pretty good. But it's always like one of those things that you kind of forget about, and if you didn't grow up in that time or weren't alive, you don't remember that. It's the same thing when you try to tell millennials or whatever that the Patriots used to be garbage,
right?
They've been good for 20 years, and it's like no, they were fucking really bad for a long time.
Or tell these millennials that modern day pro wrestling is not what it used to be. This isn't what it was back in the day. Oh no, this no. Like no.
No. So it's one of those things. If you grew up during that time, if you experienced it, then you get it. But that's what makes those teams like so much better. Whenever you live through a period of shit, when your team does like get to the mountaintop, it feels fucking so good.
Well, after Reggie Jackson left, and then after Thurman Munson died in that plane crash, the Yankees sucked for a long time.
Yeah.
Their biggest highlight back then was they had Mattingly and they almost had John Elway.
Really?
John Elway, when he got drafted by the Baltimore Colts, he threatened to sign with the Yankees because the Yankees wanted Elway to play right field in Yankee Stadium.
No shit. Man.
Yeah, their starting lineup in like 85 or 86 could have been Mattingly at first and then Elway in right field.
Wow.
Yeah, because he threatened because he didn't want to go to Baltimore. So Baltimore picked him 1 in the 83 draft.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes, fuck you, I ain't going. I told you that I don't want to play for you. And then just 6 days later, he got traded to Denver.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history. Think about how scary this is. Marino was in that draft, and Marino went 27.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like they did a 30 for 30 on.
Yeah, I watched it last night again. I love that. That's like my favorite one. Like, Elway went 1, Marino went 27.
Yeah.
Ken O'Brien, Todd Blackledge, Tony Easton, like all these guys were taken ahead of Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh didn't draft Marino.
Pittsburgh didn't take him. The hometown kid, and they didn't take him. Yeah.
Well, there was rumors he was fucking smoking weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in those days, that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I mean, Laramie Tunsil's got the fucking gas mask with a bong built in.
That was so funny.
So, it's different times, but
it's like, hey, can I borrow that Laramie from you when you're done?
Yeah. So, good. It's a good one.
Thank you. All right. My number 2 is the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. Again, growing up, I was a huge Jordan fan. But I also like Barkley too, because Barkley played for the Sixers, but I love Jordan. I just, I had Jordan everything back in the day. They went 72-10, and they went overall 87-13. 87-13 overall. Like, you can't even fathom that. Yeah, Golden State had that run in 15 and 16 where they had a pretty good team too, but nothing compared to what the Bulls were. Yeah, they broke their record, but they fucking lost in the finals of LeBron. That fucking asshole
Yeah.
in Cleveland. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, growing up, that was that was it because that was Jordan's first full year back after coming back from baseball.
Yeah.
They won the championship on Father's Day, and he cried like a baby because he lost
Yeah.
his father 3 years before.
Yeah.
So, because his father was murdered because people are fucking assholes. So,
Yeah.
and my number one, it's no secret, my number one favorite team ever is the Dream Team of '92.
Yeah.
Let's be real. That was the greatest team ever assembled, minus Christian Leitner. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean
Literally the greatest team ever assembled.
yeah, hands down.
Yeah.
That made they weren't having athletes in it. They weren't having NBA guys playing in the Olympics. And they were getting crushed in basketball. So they finally were like, yeah, fuck this. So then basically every good player in '92 played on the Olympic team. Well, except for Isaiah because they didn't want him. So
Yeah.
I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
I can kind of see why because
Yeah.
those Detroit Pistons teams would beat up the Bulls and then when the Bulls finally beat them, they just walked off the court like a bunch of fucking douchebags. So I can see why Jordan was like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
Isaiah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that team was so fucking crazy, and John, our friend John, there used to be a guy that lived in my brother's fraternity. He was a professor at University of Maine. His name was Ulysses Tucker. I think he's still alive, but he worked for TNT at the time, and he went over to cover the Dream Team. And so he's got like that Sports Illustrated where it's got like the starting five on the cover. He's got that like signed by all the guys. It's him with all the players, him just hanging out with the fucking Dream Team in Barcelona. He goes, yeah, the only black guys that were over there were the Dream Team, me and Young MC. And so, but it was just I couldn't even imagine like just being that close to that team like during that period of time. But yeah, literally the greatest team ever assembled, any sport. Like that's the best team that's ever lived. So yeah, that's a good pick.
If you watch that documentary that NBA TV did about the Dream Team, or maybe it was HBO or something, Jordan's walking around Barcelona at like 4 o'clock in the morning and like talking to people and no one knows who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Like, and John Stockton's walking around, no one knows who he is either because he's just a random white guy that blends in.
Yeah, right.
He's wearing the Dream Team shirt and he's on the shirt. He's walking. Oh, hey, do you know who I am? They had no clue who he was.
Yeah.
No clue.
He's like, I'll bet you $5 you don't know who I am.
Or less. And the kids
right,
like, oh, my daddy's on that shirt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't know. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
But no team will ever be that good ever.
No.
I mean, you can throw. I mean, like when Kobe played with LeBron and Wade. I mean, I guess that's a modern day, but I mean, they struggled with teams still. Like they didn't kill teams. This Dream Team killed everybody they played.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close.
No. Yeah, I mean that's literally as good as that other team was. No, there's no team comparable to the Dream Team. There's nobody I would even put close to that.
No.
But yeah.
I mean, that's mine.
Yeah.
All those teams are from my adulthood and childhood. So
yeah, right.
I mean, I just happen to like teams that are decent, I guess. I mean, I didn't grow up. Look, I moved to Maine when I was in second grade. No one knew who the Philadelphia Phillies were. And so I became a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
And even then, the Yankees were the doormats of baseball. And the Phillies weren't even that good either. Like the Phillies went to the 93 World Series and lost.
Yeah.
And they went on that run with all those guys like Mitch Williams, Kurt Schilling, John Kruk, Darren Daulton, Lenny Dykstra, like, you know what I mean? Like that, they were a good team. They just lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cried when they lost. Like, I was devastated.
Yeah, I was there too in '86. I know what that feeling's like. But.
Joe Carter hits a walk-off off Wild Thing Mitch Williams, like that hasn't landed yet. It's 2021.
Yeah.
But that Blue Jays team, they were stacked.
Yeah, they were good too.
Roberto Alomar, who's now banned from baseball forever because he's a fucking pedophile. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good times.
good times had by all.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to do next? Do you want to do a list next week?
Sure.
We should do since you're a music dude, we'll do music. We'll do a top 5 favorite music albums of all time.
Okay. All right.
I figured I'd limit to 5 because if we do 10, I'm gonna be struggling to get 10. So if we did 10 with you, you'd be like, no problem. But 5 with you is gonna be hard because you're the music guy, the both of us. So like,
my top 3 always stay the same, but yeah, it's like literally everything else is kind of
I have 2 that are my favorites, and then it'll be hard. It might be hard to fill out the last 3, but I have 2 that are my top 2 that I already know. So
yeah, I can do it easy. Piece of cake.
See, well, with you'll change your mind. So
well, no, I say piece of cake, but really it's gonna be it'll be fairly difficult. So.
It will be, yeah, I know it will be. So that's why I did 5 instead of 10. So
yeah.
All right. So that was it. That was another fun podcast. Thanks for tuning in and listening and watching wherever you are. Again, we just do this for fun, and this is just something for us to do on a Sunday morning, just talk, and we appreciate everything. But like I said, this is just for us, and this is just for 2 guys that love professional wrestling and love sports and hate to see what wrestling. Yeah, I love each other too. Yeah. And we hate to see what professional wrestling has become over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I want to be a fan of AEW. I mean, I am, but I am also I'm at the point now where I'm just like I just bang my head up against a wooden door and I'm like, I want something to be so good because it's so different, and it was for a time, and now it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
Did you see before we go? So Anita, that deathmatch guy, is starting his own company now over in Japan, a deathmatch company.
Jesus Christ!
And they're gonna do exploding barbed wire stuff.
Yeah,
and of
probably
course,
a lot better.
and of course, the person commented, Joey Janela comments and said, "Hey, Anita, come blow me up, or I'll blow you up or something." So let's ship his ass over there so he gets blown up.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
it's fine with me. Jelly Janela headline: Jelly Janela gets blown up against Anita in a match.
Yeah.
So this week we have Raw tomorrow. Great. Tonight we have the Booker T biography, and then we have the Hidden Treasures with Booker T. I believe afterwards they're going to try to find his crown and robe from when he was King Booker.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, no shit, huh? NXT Tuesday, Dynamite Wednesday. We have Dark Side of the Ring on Thursday, and Nick Gage is the subject this week.
Yeah.
And there's a clip online of Nick Gage fighting early Moxley, and he took a pizza cutter and went like this. Supposedly,
I don't like that.
I don't either. So it's going to be interesting to see what they cover, because Nick Gage is a convicted felon who went to jail for robbing a bank in Collingswood, New Jersey, aka where I used to live when I was a child. So funny how that all works out.
Yeah.
I grew up in Haddon Heights, which isn't far from Collingswood. And so it's kind of funny how that all plays out. And then Friday SmackDown, and then we have pay-per-view next Sunday, which we probably won't cover because we won't watch it. But we might cover it maybe just for a smidge. But again, it's nothing that no one's there's nothing on that show that I want to watch either. So
right.
Strowman versus Lashley versus McIntyre. Who cares?
Yeah.
Charlotte versus Rhea versus Asuka. Again, who cares? Charlotte's gonna win.
Yeah.
Nothing excites me anymore. So
yeah.
Alberto Del Rio's kidnapping case got moved to August.
Okay, good. Yeah.
In case you were worried.
I'm always worried about Albert Del Rio, but for different reasons.
So that got moved, and then Andrade appeared at AAA
Yeah,
and
yeah,
challenged Omega for the title at Triple Mania in August. And Omega's response was, "I'm too busy."
yeah, yeah. I'll send you Michael Nakazawa. And,
Yeah, just send Nakazawa to defend the title because
yeah,
apparently he just wears it and pisses people off online. So,
yeah.
so whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Fantastic day. Go see your mom because I'm gonna go see mine.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be a glorious Sunday. So all right, we're out of here. Have a good day, everybody.
Peace.